Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. It has actually been a while for me since I last played. It's been a really busy week, and I tell you what, I am stoked to play today because I got some plans. I've got a real vision of what's going to be done here, but first of all we also got to talk about what's been done in between. I have been trying to expand our ghetto area over here, and it hasn't really worked. You know, the demand in the city is for different things, one of them being industrial. Oil doesn't seem to be picking up over here. Wow, we got traffic right there. It's fascinating. Every time you sort of pop over to an area, the traffic is basically a little bit different each time. And often I get distracted and start talking about it, and really there is no means to. That is the most annoying thing ever, by the way. Still can't solve that. Anyway, I just zoned out roads with no real thought to the grid because it's a ghetto. It's not supposed to look pretty or anything, is it? So people are moved in. I mean, the quality of life here isn't particularly great if we just pop through. You know, there are a couple of services in there to encourage growth a little bit, but for the most part it's not very good. And, oh my god, I put this in last video and forgot to talk about it. Subway station, there's basically two routes, one goes in one direction, one goes in the other. So the idea is that from these areas, then they can get to the subway and go to work. So what we'll probably do is run some bus lines down here eventually. We do need to put more public transport in to help with our traffic. But we got a different plan this episode because I had a comment, a very useful comment. Sorry I haven't remembered your name to give you credit, but you know who you are, and it was a very well articulated one that made a lot of sense to me. And I don't know, why I hadn't thought of it. Well, I hadn't thought of it. It doesn't matter, does it? It wasn't obvious to me. But their suggestion, or the point that they were making, is that when we expand our city, we keep putting everything through the same road system. So this one over here has now generated traffic going through the middle of this section, which goes all the way over there. And the way that we need to solve our traffic problems is to create more main roads like this to sort of distribute it. So think about how there's traffic going back and forth across here. And what if there was like another road like this just further over here and you could split up the two, right? So that's how we're going to expand the city at this point. And to do that, I've decided to download some different intersections because other people are much better at designing them than me. I mean, look at these things. They look beautiful, don't they? And there's loads of cool ones for us to try out. One of them that we're going to build in a moment, but I've already put two of them in. So we're going to create a connection over here. And is that the intersection I'm actually holding right there? It looks similar, but it's not the same. You can see a very nicely designed intersection right there. I'm not too keen on the highway ramps sort of splitting off the traffic and going off like that, but it works. The traffic is going through there, so I'm happy with that. That looks cool. Over here we have another one. So what we're going to do is extend the roads down from here because we do actually have this sort of highway set up. So this area here is going to get renovated. That is going to come all the way down and meet up with this thing right here. And then we're going to send the road over to this side and build an intersection somewhere in this space, which we will do in a second. You may be wondering, what is this about? Well, if you've ever built roads in this game, you'll know that sometimes to build roads over long stretches, it's quite difficult to get them parallel. And it sort of occurred to me that maybe I don't even need to bother getting them parallel, and we could build something in the middle here, and it could be something different and a little bit interesting to have our roads laid out like that. So that's cool. I'm good with that. And what we're going to do is pause the game and pick an intersection. Oh, this one looks really cool. Now that would actually work for what we're doing, I think, but it's just very big. I love the way those roads there all go around together at the top bit. I can't move my mouse to it, but the top bit there, that looks fantastic. And do you know what? I think that would go really well just on the outside of our little area here, something like that, but we're really going to have to rework the roads in order to get that to work. So let's say we're going to go with that one. I know there's other ones here, but it looks amazing. Oh, what about that though? Man, that is a cool looking one as well, and that's sort of like the bulk of the traffic is meant for doing the right turn. I gotta say, the other one does look just way more spectacular, doesn't it? Especially for what we got going on over here with our crazy intersection of madness that makes no sense. That's his official name. We're going to demolish these roads then. So all the way back here, I'm going to go further back than it looks like I need to go because these will actually need to have a new direction to them. So there's going to be more space emerging here. Oh, and by the way, because of these roads, we will end up building like a city down here as well. But then I was thinking, whatever goes here, we're going to separate it using this right here and have like a forest that goes between the two different cities. I think that'll look really cool. But we're not even near doing that yet. We're going to start off with our roads in this episode, and that, we can plop it down, but we need to get the proper angle going on here. And I think... I think it needs to be closer to those roads on that side. We could also push it back a fair bit. Now that right there, to me, is looking golden. Okay. I think it needs a little bit more tilt, just because it's going to have such a sharp turn on that side. Right, and that, I reckon, I'm good with. Bam, I can live with that. We're going to have to rework the road here a fair bit, though, I reckon. And that is our new intersection, looking pretty amazing over here. Oh, I do like it. Let's get rid of this for a second. Yeah, that looks great. That really looks great. We're going to have to surround this with a lot of trees, I reckon, though, just to make it look a lot better. That is awesome. It's not quite as perfect when you zoom in, but, I mean, they have got it really down to a science here. That's fascinating. I love that. That's really well designed. Okay, and that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to connect up these roads, those ones over here. And what we'll do after that, I'm not 100% sure at this point, but let's connect up the roads first. Okay, let's resume the city. Let's change the time of day so we can see what's going on here. And let's speed it up a little bit as well and see if any of the traffic will sort of change while the city adjusts. Because I built my own custom intersection over here and it's kind of ugly, right? Well, working with what space we had, I think it looks okay. However, if you had more space here, you could put some much nicer curves over on this side, and that would make it all look a lot better. But anyway, let's follow what's going on here. We've got the turning off to this side to go down. Bit of a sharp corner, but they maintain speed and go down there. I imagine that's going to look hilarious in first-person mode. It looks like they're almost going to tip over. Then alongside it, we have one that comes from the other side. It goes down underneath, back up and around, and over here. And then we've got our exit ramp, which only goes back in that direction. I would like to actually hook that up in the other direction, but sort of running out of space here. Maybe branch it off, bring it over here. I don't know. Maybe there's another place to add it, actually. Like, right here. Oh, no, wait. We've got to add it to that side. For some reason, I thought it was this side for a second there. So... No, wait. We are trying to go that way. We're just trying to go in the opposite direction. Right, because I saw this connection for a moment. So maybe I can bring it up like this and then swirl it back around. I'll try that in a moment. That would be an interesting place to add in a connection. And what we've done is sort of push back the main road we had here is now split into either side. There's actually, I've just realised there's not a way for this directly to connect to this down here, which is what it used to do before. So that connection has been removed, meaning the traffic has to go down and around to get to this area now, which I don't know if is a bad thing or not. Probably just means more traffic on this road. Either way, it seems to be okay. It might just be that some traffic gets diverted to this intersection and comes down this way as well. Anyway, there are a couple of roads that go through. There's enough space to have some areas here rezoned, so we're going to add more commercial. We've got a park there. We've got some services that were there before that have been replaced. And I'll tell you what, I won't bother filling that in. As for homes, on this side we actually had some commercial, so not going to bother with a small strip, just a couple of plots here with a little bit of commercial on them for those areas, and that bit there, and I think we're done. That's all sort of been sorted out now. It does need some beautification though, some trees around here, that's for sure. Our junction there just looks absolutely mad, doesn't it? I can't do it like these people. These people are artistes, and we are seeing traffic flow through here, which means it isn't flowing through other parts of the city. Over here, by the way, we had some bridges. They raised up, so they're slightly higher on this side to let the train go underneath, which I think looks cool. And man, does this one look great right here. Can't wait to see this one with more traffic flowing through it. But anyway, just having a quick overlook at what's going on. Seems alright so far, doesn't it? Now, we had some big issues here, and they've disappeared. Is that because of the new roads that we built? Let's check over all the roads. Okay, hardly any issues there. Right, and now we've got an issue here. But what is the issue? It's that they want to turn right. Let's change this road to that type. Sometimes the traffic behaves 10 times better when it's like that. I don't know why. Also might take it a while to update. And that traffic is backed up as far as we can see. Literally, I mean, wow, there are some traffic issues here, right? And what about this mess? A lot of you thought this was hilarious, judging from the comments. Obviously, it's not pretty. Maybe we'll rebuild this. Maybe we'll download something that we can accommodate. You know, I had this idea in my mind that we wanted really big bandwidth for traffic going back and forth, but the reality is the way that it gets funneled through this bit right here, it's only ever going to come out at a speed that doesn't really warrant these big bridges. So We can definitely readjust this and make it look a little bit nicer. Also, is this area expanding? It isn't, because we want commercial and high demand for industry or offices. I reckon it's for offices at this point, so that's probably what we're going to be building down here at some point. But anyway, I have a plan for the new area, or at least to break up the new area from the old area. Thinking about it, we might need a few more of these intersections actually, because I probably want to expand up to this area across there, so we'll probably find ourselves building a couple more roads. Let's not worry about that for now. Let's also change the time back to day again so we can see exactly what's going on. I downloaded this quite a while ago and I can see a few of them. Augusta National Golf Course. There's 3 of them there. There should be a few more available. Let's scroll through because these other things get dropped in. Right, I downloaded like 16 of these and I can only see 3 right there, so I might need to fix them. And what is that? Oh, they've been given their own tab. Was that always like that? Anyway, I was thinking if we're going to have like this green belt layer going through here of forest to separate the areas, we could work the trains into that. We could also work in a golf course, which I think would look pretty good. You can plop these down anywhere, as you can see. And we've put 3 of them in. And I think they need roads near them. Now, they look horrible, which really sucks. I didn't think about that because it's snowy. And that, to me, it's just not going to look like a golf course. It's going to look like random bits of snow. They all also look very similar. This one at least has got some trees. Now, how does attaching roads to them work? Do you know what? I'm just going to search golf courses until I find something that works. Maybe someone's made them so they can stay green even though it's in the Winter City. What was I trying to do? Roads. So we might have a few of the simplest paths going between them. But yeah, no road attached. This sort of plops anywhere, so maybe alongside that box. Now, does that count? Oh, it does, so it connects up. Excellent, so we can do that as well, attach some paths to it. Anyway, I'm going to jump back on the workshop then and see if I can find some suitable golf course. So, through much trial and error of downloading different assets, I have managed to find a golf course that works. And I've got the full set here in the world, as you can see. Doesn't quite look right. Well, we'll come to that in a second. I want to point out that some of the mods have sort of enabled themselves, ones that I've downloaded after I switched from being in the beta to the actual release. And one of them sort of rearranges stuff a little bit, because if we go here, we can't select trees. They're now in landscaping over here. And it's grouped together some stuff and unlocks some new stuff as well. This right here looks amazing. You can create a canal. So let me show you some of these things. A canal. Bam, like that. It's sort of placed like a road. Can we curve it as well? That's what I want to know. Oh wow, look at that. You can curve it. And then I imagine using some of the tools you can fill it up with water as well, right? We've got to play around with that in the next thing that we build. You can also do these like above ground ridges. You can have like noise barriers for your motorways, which is really cool. What are they actually called? They're called flood walls. Aha. And then right here we've got a quay. Is that how you say it? A quay? I think this has to be placed down on the shoreline. Yeah, it doesn't look so great, but I imagine with a little bit of practice you'll be able to get better at placing that. So that's interesting. And by the way, I finished off the belt over here. You can see it sort of wraps around the side here. I think we'll keep it like that. I put this road in to sort of show potentially where the other areas will be situated inside of here. So we've got this nice green belt. We also have a little utility area as well. One of the other things I found in here was the means to build walls. So I put in some walls. They don't look particularly great, but you know, it's nice to try it and just see how it looks. So we've got that in place. We've got a recycling centre, and yeah, we've sort of looked through these. These are just bigger canals basically. Let's actually delete those. I don't want them just sitting around there. There we go. See you later. Did add another few things as well. These are the bits of the walls in, I believe, over here. Yep, there you go. These are the wall tools, so you can just sort of drag those across and make some walls with them. Can we curve them? That's what I want to know. Are they like roads? Oh, wow, look at that. That is terrific. I don't know which mod added this, but like I said, it just sort of enabled itself because I upgraded from the beta. So that's really cool. Got to make use of those in the future. As of right now, though, we were focusing on that golf course, and I don't think it's going to work out. I'm really gutted because I thought this would look great, and I forgot about the snow. And I was thinking this area over here, just perfect little sectioned off bit where we could dedicate it to the golf course. Now, a second ago, I was just removing trees, which are now in this tab over here. So I was getting rid of some of them. hoping it would look a little bit better, because when you do plop down the trees, they can go right over the golf course and it looks ridiculous. It's just not going to work out. I don't really need to explain that one, do I? And we've got all of these assets here for it as well. I mean, does this one look any better? That's actually really small for some reason. Why are you so small? No, you're just a mound of snow. What about this one here? Also just a mound of snow. It sucks. It sucks. I don't like the snow anymore. I just want to build a nice looking golf course, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of those assets. That's not gonna work out. Looks like we've got another one here as well, because I've tried so much stuff. What about this one? I bet you're all gonna be snowy too, right? Oh, look at that. Just a mountain of snow. Why? Why can't it be lush and green? I guess it's gonna be the same for all of those, isn't it? I'll plop down a couple more just in case. Practice green, driving range. Oh wow, that's a big one right there. Yeah, it's all pants basically. So all of that's going to go. We're not going to do a golf course, and I don't know what the next plan will be. Probably some public transport. By the way, I added a little road over here. Yes, some people are using it. So I don't know if this is going to solve our problem, but we had those major backups, right? And after a while I was looking at it and I was thinking they sort of just go across through the city and potentially over here. So I've added in a shortcut that goes underground. I call it a shortcut. It's like a redirect. It goes down here, and good to see, no traffic problems there. So we've actually corrected that. Now it might mean that it backs up later on and the traffic arrives over here and it can't handle it or something along those lines. There you go. So now it's pushed itself up here, but I tell you what, it's actually doing alright there. It's just a little bit grouped up. So that's fantastic. That's another traffic problem solved. Just having a quick look around at the intersections, it looks like that's made a major difference to our traffic flow in the city, and that's actually put us into the positive now. Excellent stuff. I turned off these as well. They were doing nothing. So yeah, that little shortcut right there has made a tremendous difference. So money is through the roof, and is it because I'm adding bus routes? I don't know, but since I've been doing it, the money's been going up. It does feel like traffic and money are linked. Whenever you get bad backups in your city, you see the numbers go down. And of course that's logical, but I think the way the game does it is, as traffic's getting backed up and it's taken a while to get to a place, like some of the cars disappear or their goods are no longer valid, something along those lines, and it affects money. I mean, it's all pretty logical. Anyway, everything is good. So first of all, over in this area, I've decided to add bus lines that go up and down this main road here in the hopes that people will use it to get to the subway and use the subway to get to work over here. Although that was a pretty direct road to go to the subway anyway if people were to use their cars. However, do they actually use their cars to go to a subway because they need a place to park and there isn't parking places? Something I haven't thought about. As for the other bus lines, what I've been doing is just looking at it like this and thinking, right, you know, a lot of green here and a lot of offices there, so let's create a network between those two. Same down here going into this little area right here. And what we could probably also do with is something through this area. So we'll set that one up together, but I'll show you it now. So we've got a line here that goes down this road, around through this area, back out again and down and around, you know, over and over again. So this is like the tips that I get from you guys about traffic. This is the common thing, that you should put your bus lines down sort of main roads, busy ones that other ones connect to, and have them basically go between like the two areas you want them to drop back and forth between. So this area doesn't really look like it's needed as much, but if we add in a line like this, what we'll do is start on the other side. We'll actually put in one on every block. No, that's, I've skipped one there, haven't I? We'll skip every other block then, and then there's some offices here and industrial, so we'll go around to both of those just with some stops spaced out a fair bit. So this will help get people to work whether it's industrial or offices, and then it just needs to come back around again. So now where we have the stops here and there, we're going to put them in the opposite gaps. So this will be the next one, and then that means in general it should just be a lot easier for people to get to the stop that's relevant to them. And then turning around there, they have to go all the way down that road. So that should be a pretty decent setup. You know, people can walk to the bus stops and they can go into work around in that area. So that's another nice little route. And how's our money doing? It's now gone the other way. We're down to 3,000. Let's see how much money we're spending on these buses. And we're at 11% on everything. Didn't I have it at 12% once? So buses are which one? They're not that one. That's the train. That looks like a bus. 1,400, not a lot of money we're putting into it. And like everything else, at night time we're going to run less of these. There we go, 75% on that. And I'm going to keep my eye on the city now. We're going to speed it up. We'll see what happens. I'm going to observe traffic, see if it lowers. You know, we're not really expanding anywhere. That being said, there's some residential demand, which means people will probably move in over here. Yet, there's a house. It's starting to fill up a little bit. And there are some serious traffic problems here as well. I should probably take a look at this area, because this is all left over and deliberately not very nice because it's our ghetto. So we'll take a look at that and see if we can make some subtle improvements. I love this belt right here. Is it me, or from this angle do a load of trees there just sort of pop out a little bit more? Yeah, it's just the angle. It just, from this side they've probably got more snow on them, haven't they? I like that though, a little cluster of different types of trees. So at this point I'm a little bit hesitant to expand while we're experimenting with these new roads and traffic. A couple of things I'd like to talk about. This right here is terrible, so's all of this power, so's this right here. We're going to address these things soon. I think it's about time. Maybe I'll start working on a little bit of that today. But obviously we have the water treatment facilities. I want to do a little bit of terraforming and somewhere create a little setup where you have a hole in the ground, you drop the water from here into that water and then refine it before it gets dumped into the ocean, basically. Something like those lines. I've seen people do that in the past. Tried to do it myself and failed, I think, if I remember correctly. So we could give that a go again. And the same for the power. We just need a proper power source. Now, I would like to use the environmentally friendly option, which is to go with this, except now that you have the day and night cycle, you don't produce any power at night. So, you know, it is a game after all. I don't like nuclear power particularly. It seems a little bit like a risky thing to do, not great for the environment, but maybe we'll put a nuclear power plant in, or a couple of them somewhere here, since it is just a source of power for the game. So there's just a couple of things I'm thinking about. Anyway, I'm just going to watch the traffic and maybe tweak a few things here and there throughout the city. So this isn't really going anywhere, is it? Didn't really think this one through, just thought let's put a little turning over onto this side. I mean, when that connects it's just going to cause more traffic. We need a rethink here. I think maybe the road's going underneath a roundabout above, or, because this is higher up, maybe keep that going through and have the roundabout below. But then again, maybe not a roundabout. I want to think that one through and then change this junction. As for the one on the other side, I think there's too little room to really do much about this, but it doesn't have the traffic issues. Anyway, let's talk about this beautiful thing in the middle. And what is going on right here, as you can see, making some major changes and then forgetting, of course, to continue with the train track, right? Because that just seems to go nowhere. So I've decided to go to doing just the, there we go, just the two. Now this is going to have to go down, forwards, and then back up again. Are you able to do that? Yes, you are. That's amazing. It looks a little bit odd, but I don't really care. Also, I've got a feeling this bit here might be actually be able to be a little bit higher because this is quite high off the ground. Yes, so going to two bridges, because when I put in this intersection, it literally just, the only place I could squeeze it, it lined up with these two so well. I mean, you can barely tell, but actually what I've done there is just slope this up at the end. So we sort of got, yeah, that going again. And the area around it needs refurbishment, doesn't it? But at the moment, it's the ghetto area. It's just been patchwork everything. And now we're going to resume the game and see what happens to the traffic, because some of it is flying through the air here. I imagine they're going to disappear and it's going to put us right into the red. But then we'll see the new traffic flowing through. And we've just got this problem here to solve. And then most of our traffic problems are kind of improved drastically. Now that actually might be bad. There might be some problems with this joining together, because they're going all the way over to the lane on the other side. But so far, nothing too much. Some of these cars might be disappearing because the roads have changed. That stuff happens, I've noticed. But that looks good. That looks great. And it can easily handle the flow here. You can see the traffic just easily splitting up to either side. That's so much better. That really is. And guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to continue connecting this before we got to the other end. So somewhere here it needs to go underground. If we press downwards, we can bring it down there and then possibly skip underground without interfering with that road. No, that would be if it connected to the road. Okay. No, we don't want that. We'll just destroy the road temporarily, because we don't want this traffic being slowed down, or at least the trains. And there it is, the connection right there. Fantastic. Connected up. Just got to do that road. Let's resume the game, as this is just a little low traffic thing, isn't it? I'll figure out a way for that to get around. So, connect that road. Do this bit over here. Let's see if we can improve the traffic on this section. So here is my beautiful intersection, and how quickly do ideas descend into madness. I mean, what is this road doing over here? It's going off to the side, it's going down, it looks rickety. I just cannot get my roads looking that great. They're all sort of bendy and curvy all over the place. Nothing like this. How do they do it? How do they do it? They must have some inside info on how to get your curbs looking good right there. Anyway, this bit down here, this is a custom intersection that I downloaded. It has... or it makes use of these extra roads that we have. So the way this works is it's a roundabout. However, the far side road should be for right-hand turns only, which I'm hoping will help. And this is also a bit of an experiment. And then I realised that I think I've done the roads incorrectly. So let's have a look. I mean, these can go through like either way. That's good. Then same on this side. However, that's a joining road and that's a leaving road. So that's correct, isn't it? Let's check that the arrows... Yep, they're the right way around. And then over here, I've got both of them connecting. So I made a big mistake there. And actually, I think the issue is correctable because this is going in this direction. Right. And that's a turn off, that road. That needs to be a turn on. So everything gets to stay the same. I just got to swap that around, right? And I believe that that's it. We're now ready to go and see this thing in action. So while we're doing that, I'm going to delete some roads. I don't think there's anything else that I've sort of modified that's going to... feel left out or like something isn't working, if you know what I mean, like a disconnected road. And there we go, traffic going round round the roundabout, which is what it's for. But it'll take a while to see what's going to happen here, although it looks like some traffic's arriving from over there, some backing up on this side. I'll keep my eye on it and we'll see how it does, but so far it looks pretty good. So the only problem here now is these lights and the way the traffic backs up. Now I could do something like make this a one-way road, but a lot of traffic comes through here and it goes over onto the other side sometimes and it goes in either direction here, mainly in that direction actually, because I added this little road and only a few trucks use it. So I guess we could probably connect this with something else. Be nice if there was another road there to drop it into, but this would have to sort of go all over the place, wouldn't it? So if we put a one-way road there, then they'd be forced to go up here, which doesn't have a connection road. We can steer them back into the roundabout, where they could go wherever they want. Let's see what happens if we did that then. I don't know. I'm going to experiment here. I'm going to do this stuff off camera, though, because there's a whole bunch of ways that we could lay out the roads at this point. And I guess that means it's going to be it for this episode of City Skylines. I do hope, as always, that you have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it. It has been a fun one. Are these all going in the right way? They are. Excellent. And we've actually just done a lot of roads and traffic again. But that can be really good sometimes. So what do we got? We've got our new roads in place. We've got our green belt. We tried out the golf course. We've added in some public transport, which for the most part seems to have helped around the place. Although now there's a backup here. You know, this stuff will happen from time to time. You shift things around and then later on you realise you cause traffic problems elsewhere. But the most of the traffic is just this little bit right here at the moment. So that'll get hopefully sorted out, and we'll get to move on in the next one. Anyway, I need to wrap it up. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.